Alright, guys. Well, it's time for the grand finals here of the Monday Night Weekly, and Clem at the bottom right side, what in the world? He's playing TVT. He struggled a little bit in his previous match with BYUN, so he swapped over. I think we'll be uploading these as probably, upper bracket semis and then finals together to show the kind of flow of the matches, but kind of a shame. I do think it's hard to get used to using those gateways, but I think BYUN's style is honestly pretty counterable from what I've seen with the new boosts. I think it's such a big boost to defending that style of TVP, but I'm excited. As much as I want to see players adapt and figure things out, I also want to just kind of see how Clem's TVT looks. He's going to go gas first. I do like gas first in this matchup. It's what I've been preferring. It allows you to just stay one gas for a very long time, and I feel like gas first plays very similarly to playing a double gas would before the patch back on the 12 worker start. So he's going to go 14 barracks. The gas first is actually a very early. I often don't take it quite this early, just because you can see, like, look, now you've only got 9 workers on minerals. I think the most important thing is obviously still keeping SCVs up. And sometimes I'll only put 2 workers on a gas first as well, just kind of balancing things out. Because you want to have enough gas for the factory. For me, personally, I'm rushing a factory and a tech lab and going early Cyclone off this opening. But BYUN is going for an old school double gas. I think double gas is awful because look at his saturation. He's only got 10 on minerals. If he wants to use this second one, now he's got 9 on minerals. And that to me, it's like, okay, now knowing BYUN, he's pretty good. I think he pulls off gas once he gets enough for a factory, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It feels like you're just gimping your own minerals so hard. Like, this already is expensive, being at just 13 out of 16. But being at 9 out of 16, and then just building a Reaper and a Depot, it feels like if you're going to cut economy this much, you want to get a bit more value for it. Now, he pulls 1 off gas here. He's going to go for that factory, but you can see he's overshot his gas count quite a lot. He pulls now 3 workers off gas. To me, I think I prefer Clem's build order, but let's take a look. Let's see how it plays out. Clem's factory does come down a little bit faster. His Reaper's a little bit slower. So if he was being proxy 2 racks, he'd be a bit more vulnerable here. I don't think it would mean he would just die, though. And he's going to build a second Reaper as well. CV production is consistent. It's so fascinating to see how these builds are going to match up. The reactor's way earlier for BYUN because he's built it after just 1 Reaper. But yeah, I don't know. It feels to me like, what's the point in going double gas here? You know what I mean? Why spend 25 seconds building an extra refinery when you could just be mining 1 the whole time? You know what I mean? It's definitely something where double gas at the start, unless I'm committing to a proxy Banshee or something like that, feels very awkward. Command center goes down on the natural. Got 2 Reapers and soon to be alien reactors on the way here for Clem as well. Now, Clem, of course, does not have his starport as quickly because he's gone for 2 Reapers. But BYUN, he's going to be committing to reacted Reaper production. Wow, he's going for a lot of Reaper alien. Oh, my. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is could be really bad for Clem because these Reapers are going to pop out just in time. But, oh, he split up. BYUN split up. BYUN not watching. That's really bad, but it might lure Clem in a little bit. And he's going to go forward to defend the SCV. He does not want to lose the SCV on the command center. Clem's going to take his best of a trade he can. I think that was a good call. He's like, okay, yeah, you kill 1 extra Reaper, but you know what? At least I see how committed you are here. And I've got an SCV can run to the high ground while he makes an orbital. He can raise the depots, wait for the cyclone, and I just think Clem's build flows much nicer than BYUN's. He's got a way faster command center. Even though he took a negative trade, big fan of Clem's opening. Marine's going to pull to the right side. The Reapers are here, but of course, it's only a matter of time till that cyclone pops. He's not lost any units just yet. There we go. 1 SCV goes down. But of course, you know the cyclone's going to grab attacks here. Is it, though? Hellion? Oh, he got the depot down in time. Both Reapers and the Hellion go down for what? An SCV and a Marine. Excellent defense by Clem, who now transfers to his natural. He's got a medevac on the way, which is going to allow him to have forwards pressure. And he's not going to be too far behind on Raven production as well, because he can now build a tech lab and then just kind of get into his own Ravens while forwards pressuring. But right now, Starport is idle. He's going to build a single Viking to start. And this is interesting. This is one of these moments where the players can't afford everything at once. You know, they're having to make trade-offs constantly in these early games. And I think this is one of the things a lot of players have been complaining about, feeling really awkward and uncomfortable. Like, the builds don't flow. I constantly have to pause this or that. I think that's really interesting because it creates a lot of differentiation in the opening build orders in terms of what you're choosing to prioritize, workers versus army, that sort of thing. Do we rush the third gas? You can see BYUN's is up a bit faster. I think it's kind of cool. Good pullback. Double Cyclone's very scary. BYUN's got a much scarier army. Clem might get caught on the way home, but he's got a tank coming forward. Oh, this could work out either way. I think BYUN's the one with the more mobility. Gets a few Marines from the high ground, but now Clem's aware of what's happening. And he sets up a little tank ambush. BYUN realizes that's a threat. He pulls back. Really nicely done. Still building Vikings one at a time and tanks. So Clem trying to get forwards with this early aggression. Ooh, this is really interesting. 2 depots building right now. BYUN hasn't been able to squeeze in a third command center, and neither has Clem. And you can see how delayed those thirds are going to be. It's going to be a little bit more drawn out in this phase. We're going to see. Does BYUN realize what's happening? I don't think so, guys. Cyclones are in the main base. He's going to start third command center. He's swapping his starport around. It's a little bit too late, though. There's already 2 Vikings on the field. BYUN, is he going to see this? This army's about to come out of the fog of war. This is BYUN's vision. He catches a glimpse, another glimpse. But BYUN doesn't seem to have reacted, and it's Clem with the siege up from the fog of war. Gets the first shot. Pushes those Marines away. He's going to just shove. Clem's just going to shove, I think. He's going to go for it. He goes for it. Tanks come forward. Cyclone locks onto the Raven. It goes down. But can he take out the defensive tank of BYUN? He can. The Marines are going to pull back. The SCVs have already been pulled. He does take out one of the Cyclones, but only one. He's going to pick up the Marines and try to fly away. That Viking is going to be dead in the water. The Cyclone will lock on and take it out. Great hold here for BYUN. Only loses 2 SCVs. The Viking unable to take out the Raven. Units lost tab going well in favor of BYUN. If Clem was going to shove, he should have shoved immediately. The fact that he got only 1 tank shot off by surprise gave time for the Cyclones to move down and then pushed. Maybe a little bit either pull back or just stay sieged and go for the soft contain after the first reveal, or go all out and just shove with the first push. I think Clem got caught a bit too middle of the road. He's now building Viking lib tank off of 2 starports. So he's actually going to go for a 2 starport follow-up push, but problem, he's lost 2 tanks. BYUN's only lost 1. So right now, they're still at an even tank count, but BYUN's been cutting tank production to build Vikings. So BYUN's going to have a few more Vikings in the sky, or he might, but this could still go either way. It sucks to be defensive, though, if you're on Clem's side. Clem's going to play mech afterwards, extra factory goes up, but he's still in a position that doesn't flow quite as smoothly as the Stim 3 racks bio transition of BYUN. Viking tank moving forward. The tanks and the Marines are there. Here we go. Bit of a messy fight. Nice scan. Can he take out the Liberator with the Cyclone? Yes, he can. Tanks do siege up earlier for Clem, but one of them does get interference matrix. The other one's going to go down very quickly. This looks like a good fight for BYUN, but another tank and Viking rally in. That might actually be able to turn this. And his tank gets a few big shots off. This tank is sieged up. Unfortunately, it's shooting the Marine right now. He just wasted 2 shots on an individual Marine. Still, it looks like it's going to be enough to win the tank fight. The Vikings will land for BYUN, though. Cleans up his tank units last time. Still 600 in BYUN's favor, but both sides trading evenly. Probably good for BYUN, as Clem is the one who is quite committed to this 2 starport play. He's still non-stop pumping Vikings. He scans. He sees the 3rd command center going out. His own 3rd command center is going out. The economy's pretty even between the 2. And BYUN, it's actually down 2 workers in this game. 1-1 upgrades are on the way. 4th and 5th barracks is building. He's already got the reactors building on this right side. So the Marine production's going to ramp up soon, but he's not there just yet. And just having the initiation, whoever initiates the fight with a few tank shots could win this next fight or 2. And if you deny this 3rd, that's massive. For now, he's just going to go for chip damage. He's just like, yeah, whatever, we'll just kill the sensor tower, get an SCV or 2, grabs a Viking kill, a couple Marines. This is not big, crazy game-ending damage. It's just heavy pressure, and behind it, Clem builds a 4th command center. Remember, guys, this is not with 300 mineral command centers. These are 400 mineral command centers. This was played just a few days ago, so new patch hasn't quite kicked in. Tank position's really good. The constant pressure for Clem is nice. Keep in mind, without Stim 1-1 shields, it's a very overcommitted push where if he ever got surrounded by Marines, it would be lights out because he can't reproduce his mech army very quickly. But right now, it's looking like a potentially winning position because there's not that Marine swarm out. There's only 11 Marines. 1-1 in shields is not quite ready. He's having to spend so much money repairing this base. Admittedly, a lot less than he's getting from mining from it, but it's still very, very painful. All those SCVs repairing rather than mining. all that money to get it back to full hit points from 1 hit point costs 100 minerals. He's having to do that multiple times here while these tanks are shelling. Here comes the break. There's not many units to defend it. Does CLEM land the Vikings? I think he's just going to abandon this position. Notice he focused the SCVs. He targeted the SCVs there, and his Vikings, rather than trying to just run home, are going to threaten landing in the base, but then they realize, okay, BYUN had to respect that, and he runs south. But the Marine gets one of the Vikings. 7 workers go down for 2 tanks, but that's a real problem because CLEM's whole army is siege tanks, and he's only got 4 tanks and 12 Vikings right now. And you can see there's 20 Marines. There's the first medevacs coming out. There's 8 Marines building at a time. This is where the bio production's flowing. The mech production's not quite there. He's gone to 5 command centers, has CLEM. He's building turrets to stop drops. That's great. But can he hold just the frontal shove? BYUN is a master of just shoving through tanks and busting them. You're going to need to land your Vikings near instantly. CLEM doesn't see it coming. Okay, now he sees it. He's got to have all of his units in position. Another tank sieges. Tanks are kind of spread backwards. And you can see he's going to have to lift that command center. The Lib's going to siege forward, though. That's actually a really cute move. Oh, really nicely done. Pushes him back there. CLEM desperately needs more tanks. He builds... Is that a 6th command center? CLEM is building a 6th command center right now. What in the world? Double armory. Holy moly. CLEM should be building more factories, but he doesn't have the gas, guys. The gas count is a little low. And remember also, mech's being nerfed in this more recent patch because the gas is going to mine out in your main in a few minutes. So... You don't quite have... You do need to secure that 4th base to keep up tank production. Over time, you'll probably want to go Cyclones as well. His upgrades, of course, are going to be miles behind. 2-2's already started for Bio. And BYUN, he's got a 4th established. He says, oh, I know you're playing mech. I've got map control. I'm the one who gets to control the map here. And look at that. He knows the command center is sticking out like a sore thumb. Hard to keep track of this Bio army. It's so maneuverable. But the Vikings do punish a little bit. They get a kill or 2. CLEM needs to leave a few tanks peppered around these bases. It's got to keep scanning. More importantly, though, he needs a 4th and 5th factory, and he needs 1-1 upgrades, and he just is struggling because he's spending so much gas on Mass Viking. And this is a huge mistake, guys. He's playing against a guy who's playing Mass Marine, and he's playing Mass Viking into Mass Marine. This is not a smart decision. I don't know why he's still building Vikings. Normally, getting Vikings for air control is really good. Getting as many as 6 Vikings ahead of your opponent is lovely. So if he went to 8 Vikings, that'd be good. The extra 11 Vikings are really crappy marauders that he can land. Yeah, they can kill medevacs, but like, you need more Hellions, you need more tanks, and you need that gas in those upgrades and that tank count. These tanks are going to get jumped on. He loses track of BYUN's army. BYUN's going to move in. The planetary does come up, but the tanks were in front of the planetary, which means they do get shot down. Quite a few Marines fall, and the Libs will still clear this up, though. So with the air advantage, you can still hold this position. Nicely done. Uh-oh, right side's open, though. Here comes that Mass Marine we were talking about. Very hard to deal with the mobility of BYUN. You know BYUN might just shove in on the left side as well. Lots of SCVs getting removed. The lack of mobility. CLEM doesn't like playing this defensive army, but when you play this army, you've just got to leave tanks everywhere, leave a few Vikings. You've just got to spread units all over the shop, and he's starting to do that, but he's got to resume gas mining down here. He's got to resume gas mining here. He's got to rebuild his workers, and he's got to try to hang in for the late game, but BYUN's using this to build command centers on location, to make mass orbital. He's using the map control, the momentum. He's on 8 barracks now. You can see he's got extra tech labs and reactors, so tons of Marines and Marauders can rebuild. And if he ever catches you out of position and Doom drops, because BYUN's now got 92 workers and mass orbital coming in, he can afford to throw armies away, make high-risk maneuvers. You can't afford to do that. The mech player should be more efficient, should be able to survive if they play perfectly. But of course, perfect often is theoretical and not something you can actually achieve in a StarCraft game. So the Mass Viking means any engagement BYUN loses will be rough. But oh, he sees an opening, and CLEM leaves a hole in the middle. Oh, whoever expected that? Marines come in from the right side as well. He just shoves right through the middle. The Mass Viking does not help very much against this. The Libs will clear the tanks, but look at those Marines getting on top of the workers in the natural. I mean, CLEM's micro has been really good, honestly. That would have been so much worse for most players. It's still rough, though, and he's got to be very quick to rebuild his workers. He's getting traded on, and trading evenly against BYUN, who's just freely expanding on location. It's going to be really favoring BYUN in this sort of game. Vikings might need to land here, but the tank, no, it does clean things up. Remember, there are 5 orbitals. It's going to float out a 5th base now as well, is CLEM. Got a few tanks on each side, so I think he's pretty solid with the turrets and the tanks, and he needs to really focus on securing this base now. 3 threes on the way. 2 planetaries are being made for BYUN. Kind of cute that BYUN's making planetaries. I guess he's just worried about Hellion harassment. Doesn't want to have to deal with it. Normally you make mass orbital when you play bio versus mech, and normally at some moment you pivot to air. But because CLEM has such an overcommitment to air, he has to basically keep diving ground armies. And at some point, CLEM will land all of his Vikings. You'll kill them with your Marine Marauder. And you want to already have 5 starports set up for an air swap at that point. He's not even thinking about that yet because he sees CLEM's way too overcommitted to air. But he's not finding any more openings. CLEM's work account very low here. 62 to the 92 of BYUN. That also means he's going to have a bigger standing army. And finding trades with a pure ground army is going to be very hard. He's going mass bio. 3 more barracks. It feels like the way BYUN's playing here is essentially he's going to have to wait for CLEM to make a mistake. Have an abundance of production, have an army. At some point, he will have to lower his work account as well. And just look for that mistake. Build turrets, spread tanks. It's going to be hard for, of course, CLEM to move out. Look for a big Doom drop around the back, potentially. You can see an extra couple of starports going down. That's that mass air swap I was talking about. He's thinking about it. He also needs another armory, though, because he should already be getting armor upgrades. They'll help his tanks, but they'll also help his Vikings later, and then he can add ship weapons. Big drop comes in, but it's onto a planetary. Planetary's so good against this. And, oh my god, no repair? CLEM! Very slow to repair that planetary. Oh my god, he's going to lose it! CLEM! Not repairing his planetary on time. He never should have lost that. That was a big mistake for CLEM. I just don't think he really thought a bit of bio dropping on top was a threat. Forgot to repair it until it was too low, and it just barely gets taken out. Nice tank shots there. I mean, he can float a new orbital down. He's building new command centers, but it just feels like the trading's a bit closer than you'd want if you were on CLEM's side of this matchup. The engineering bay upgrades, building armor, high-sec auto tracking coming in. More and more tech labs, more reactors on the starport. So he's thinking about that air swap, but he needs to kill more Vikings first. There's still 19 Vikings, 20 siege tanks for CLEM, which is an absolutely massive army. And those 2-2 upgrades getting close to finished, which is a crucial moment for CLEM. Oh, here we go. Big push in the middle. There's a few tanks here. Not many Hellbats guarding them. The Vikings could land as well. I think he should probably land the Vikings. Trying not to. Gonna clear the Metavacs. The Vikings are doing okay. The planetaries and the tanks should be able to hold the line here. CLEM, good discipline. He doesn't want to throw the Vikings away because he knows if he opens up that opportunity, BYUN might take care of him. BYUN's going Thors because he's like, okay, well, you still got mass Viking, but I need to deal with the Libs. Thors have really long anti-air range, 11. Should be really effective. Three more command centers building for BYUN. That second armory is finally coming in. You can see he's got the armor upgrades. We'll add ship weapons soon as well, no doubt. He's swapping into mass Viking now. 6 Vikings at a time. I thought he'd be going for 5 starports, but look at this, guys. Hellion's coming in, roasting some mules. Nice harassment for CLEM. Doesn't really do any serious impact, though, because, you know, BYUN's got 8 orbitals. 3 more command centers finishing. And he's going to start mining out CLEM's bases, which is a really smart move. He doesn't have to commit much. He can just mule these out. Maybe take the gas as well, just to remove it from CLEM's side of the map. Three for mech, and fusion core is on the way, guys. So let me clear my throat. He's trying to see if there's an air swap right now. Is CLEM. But I think he's got to scan the army. BYUN's, I don't like the way he's done this, guys. He's gone for 2 Thors, but he's built a handful of Vikings. A handful of Vikings is useless. You need to surprise with mass Viking, which is why I like the double armory. I like 4 more starports. He's going to go for, like, you know, 7 starport, sudden hard swap into mass air. That's what you need to be doing. And there's going to be +3 armor, but no attack upgrades for CLEM until after he finishes +3 vehicle weapons. Because he is still mostly focused on winning the ground war, which makes sense. Against a guy who's made, is this 14, 15 barracks? 11 barracks. 11 barracks mass bio. Hellions come in, see the command center in the bottom left. Turrets, hard to push through. CLEM's going to start moving around this map, but look at how awkward BYUN's making it for him. It's not going to be easy to get space here, to get control. You're going to have to go through layers of turrets and tanks. BYUN should be scanning a little bit more. Ooh, his tanks are getting jumped on though. Quite a few tanks going down. He's going to build more Thors and Vikings. I don't think the Vikings make sense, does it? I mean, I guess he's just going to hard swap to air. He's going to have to build his own libs as well. So once he wins the air, libs will kill everything on the ground. But he has to win that air war, and right now he's still got 7 tanks, 6 marauders, 18 marines, and 90 SCVs. I love extra factories. Being able to rebuild your siege tanks is really important when you're in these scenarios, because that's what's going to stop your opponent like jumping on your production. Also building Thors, and even a few Widow Mines can be good. Widow Mine splash on the enemy air is huge. Ooh, drop goes in, triple drop. And so, funnily enough, only one of those gets dealt with. Only one medevac gets taken down, but Lib Vikings should be able to deal with this. The medevacs fall. The Vikings can just land on top of this, surely. And indeed they will. Transformation servos is in, so the Vikings land incredibly quickly. He double scans the front because he's worried about BYUN pushing into him. BYUN now is into full mass Viking. He's going to go vehicle weapons, though. +3 before going +2 ship. +1 ship weapons only now starting for CLEM. He'll have a bit of time to start catching up on the attack upgrades in the air. But of course, he's miles ahead on the armor. So I think this is going to be pretty even on the upgrades as the game goes on. With a bit of an advantage in the air fights on the upgrades to CLEM right now. CLEM also has 25 Vikings to just 20. So these Thors, are they in high impact payload or are they in splash damage mode? Splash damage can do a lot if the enemy Vikings clump. Oh my god, is it splash damage mode? I think the Thors are just in their regular firing mode. BYUN committing to a crazy engagement here. He's down on upgrades and his Thors were behind. Let's take a look at the units lost tab, guys. 18 Vikings have gone down for BYUN, 18 for CLEM. So we can compare that number as time goes on. See who's winning these trades. Right now, the armor upgrade advantage is there for CLEM. The Thors are not part of this fight. This should be a decent fight for CLEM. The Viking count pretty similar on both sides. And it's going to be a trade. I don't think it's the worst trade for BYUN. It's a losing fight, but it's not a terribly losing fight. 32 Vikings to 31. Only 1 Viking extra went down for him. So not as bad as I thought it would be. The tanks are going to shove forward now. He says, oh, you gave up your air army. Guess what? I'm going to push on the ground. Thors and Vikings building for CLEM as well right now. Poo-wee. Poo-wee. Tanks moving to the right side. Vikings and SCVs coming forward to try and defend. There's more tanks behind that. Not to mention the Lib as well. Those Vikings going to try to lift off the Lib. Quick to abandon. These 4 tanks get caught in the middle, though. Bit of a doo-doo there for CLEM. And look at this. BYUN might now shove towards the left side. There's no tanks over there. You have to be really careful with these slow armies. CLEM starts building turrets over here. Try to do like a tank turret push on that side. +2 ship weapons coming in for BYUN. I'd love to see CLEM also add +2 ship weapons. Otherwise, he is going to fall quite behind in the next Viking battle. But right now, look at this. He's remaxed on 30 Vikings. BYUN's on a ground army, and he's scanning it. He's seeing not that many Vikings and Libs. Oh, whoa. CLEM is just remaxed on entirely the wrong army. He's going to move in with his tanks into the Lib zones. A little bit of a wild choice. His Vikings need to land and fight. Otherwise, he's going to get overrun on the ground, I think. But actually, the tanks hold the line. He had just enough tanks to hold the line. He has 11 siege tanks in total. Most of them were over on this right side of the map. And that's actually a really good fight for CLEM, who's 5,000 resources ahead in the units lost. He's got Vikings coming forward. BYUN is going back to Vikings, but only 8 Vikings at a time. I feel like BYUN has to make up his mind, guys. If he's going to go Vikings, he's got to actually make like 40 Vikings. But CLEM has been overcommitted to Vikings all game long. I think building less Vikings than your opponent is a bad call. And BYUN's never really been the master of the slow, patient air war late game. I think he should be playing full ground and maneuvering around. I think he should just be playing Thors, maybe pepper a few mines across the map if you can. But just play ground and try to use your mobility, because right now he's investing into a massive Vikings, which is a huge investment, but it's still less Vikings than CLEM has, which means CLEM will still be able to do very well. But nice snipe on the base. This is what the ground mobility can do for him. These 3 starports do get caught. That might actually help BYUN by cancelling a bunch of his Viking production. I think that might actually be good for BYUN. BYUN is mining the bottom left side of the map. So I think trading a base for a base is good for BYUN, because BYUN's muling this bottom left base out very quickly. He's going to mine that out in just a few minutes. CLEM knows it's there as well. He really should have sent something to deal with that, even if it's a single siege tank. Vikings come forward right now. He's landed a lot of his Vikings to try and help his front line. His tanks are behind the command center, though, which means the enemy tanks of BYUN get big shots on his Vikings. It's only 2 tanks for BYUN. The Liberator should be able to maybe push this back, but with the Thors there, maybe not. Liberator does get a good siege up. Those tanks are going to get pushed back. Turrets on the front being really annoying. BYUN making it expensive and frustrating to dislodge him using that resource advantage. Still Vikings building up here. New command center is going to float to that top right side. It looks like Clem is going to build a command center there and block it though. Tank Thor moving over on this side. Hellbats are really good at tanking siege tank shots. See, they don't really die to tank shots very quickly. It's the tanks landing tank shots on each other that are debilitating. Clem continuing to trade very well. He's now 8,000 resources ahead. BYUN continues to commit to Vikings, and it feels like a dead end because he's always just behind on the Viking count. I mean, he's committing enough. He might be able to overtake soon, but there's even Thors in the mix helping Clem here. And I think BYUN, at this point, must have lost way more Vikings than Clem. He comes forward to get the lid, but he's going to lose the Viking fight. These fights are always going to favor Clem, I feel like. Let's check that units lost Viking count, guys. 52 for BYUN, 54 for Clem. So actually, Clem has lost more Vikings. That may, though, be because he's been landing them in battle and in range of those siege tanks over here a bit more. This Liberas from BYUN is excellent. BYUN has more of the map, more money. He's being out-traded, but he's mining more. If he could deny this top right base and get that one mining again, I think this would be really decent for BYUN. He's also about to overtake in the Vikings, and Clem never got +2 ship weapons. Oh, the Thors are helping Clem here. The Thors are helping. Gotta be careful. You really want your Thors in range in these Viking battles, if possible. Clem's got the position. BYUN might have to just give this base up for now and find something better. He's got a big mass of Marauders. He can find anywhere where the siege tanks are. If he can just stim through here with his Marauders, this is wide open. This is wide open. Clem's so focused on the front. There's another big Viking battle. Once again, BYUN commits to an awkward Viking fight over Clem's Thors. I'm very much questioning BYUN's Viking battles, but his Marauder run-bys are excellent. I think his Marauder run-bys are so good. He's going to run past, gets a command center, gets a bunch of SCVs. He didn't really dart into the production because he doesn't want to get caught here. He's just going to try and stay out of tank range. Only takes one tank shot there. Pulls to this left, clearing a lot of turrets. The Vikings, of course, will take out all of his medevacs, so there's no healing left for these Marauders, which does make it awkward, but he can kite Hellbats all day. Marauders, oh, he's got to be careful. I'm not watching these units, and a bunch of them do accidentally walk into that tank fire, but he gets a lot of SCVs, a lot of commands, and there's a lot of map control removed. Clem, though, has the top right side base. Clem, no bank, though, and that's his real issue here. He's going to repair the command center and try and chase these down. The Marauders could try and take care of these Hellbats, and that's exactly what they'll do. The Hellbats are going to get toasted. Vikings get caught. Massive Viking win here for BYUN. He catches those Vikings, and now that means he's going to have the Liberator advantage on this side. The Thor's not helping. These guys are getting caught. Oh, gosh, Clem finally getting routed. BYUN might not have been efficient in terms of units lost, but he has smothered Clem in this game. You can tell he's much more experienced in recent high-level TVT. So even though Clem was patient, he was efficient, couldn't quite close down all the angles. At the end of the day, 68 Vikings for 79, so he did force enough decent engagements with that weird Viking commit. To me, that looked really scary. I was doubting that BYUN was going to be able to do it, but every time his ground army rotated, he found huge damage. These Marauders had cleaned up the Hellbats. Clem had to tap out there. He just did not have enough economy, and BYUN still got fresh base, bunch of minerals there, bunch of minerals there, bunch of minerals there. And if he's able to deny this top right, which was looking inevitable as it was now separated, Clem was probably going to lose this base and this base. He was knocked out of this game. The supply difference was just too big. Great game one for BYUN. You show the final Viking fight from the beginning. It was just to capture the rally. It was just these guys were trying to come up and they got caught. And he tries to stutter step. Tried to target the lib, which actually meant he flew a bit further forward than he should have. And then he misclicks towards the enemy Vikings again. And that just... He should have been able to escape with these Vikings or land them or something much earlier. But he lost all of them. That's game. Alright. Well, guess what, guys? Clem's sticking with Terran here. No seesawing, no flippy floppies. And it was a pretty damn good game, that last one, so I'm happy to see it. This is, of course, BYUN in the top right side for Shop of Rare Rebellion. Clem for Team Liquid. Keep in mind, guys, this is the grand finals, but it's only a best of 3. BYUN came from the upper bracket, so he only has to win a best of 3. If Clem wins, we'll get another best of 3 afterwards, because that would knock BYUN to the lower bracket. This is a double elimination format with the bracket reset format. It's going to be deeper for both sides. Yeah, I mean, it was not a bad play for Clem, but his first big push did not pan out for him. And there was a few fights afterwards. Like, his pressure on BYUN's third, I think, was quite good. But that did eventually get cleaned up. I do wonder if he landed his Vikings to help defend his 2 tanks at BYUN's third. Could he have killed 10, 15 SCVs and made that more worth it? Maybe. This time around, BYUN's going to go for the gas first, guys. Mines a few minerals there, but he's down here way too early. If you're going to... Yeah, you could... I think he went for the 11 depot. If you're doing a gas first, you can build the 12 depot. Could build it like 20 seconds later than the 11 depot. The only reason you build it early is if you want to go 13 barracks. And this is going to be 13 barracks, 14 gas by the looks of it. I'm going for a more standard Reaper opening. So there you go. You can see, goes for that 16 orbital. And it's a Marine first. Ah, okay. So Clem's going to play Marine into Factory. Interesting. Okay. Is he going to go Command Center before Factory? Because if so, he should pull off. There's no reason to be mining this much gas. I think he's going to go Factory, second depot, then Command Center. I'm very critical of a lot of people's build orders, guys, and this is why. I don't know. I mean, you do, as long as you delay your second gas a lot, this can work out. But to me, it just feels like you should only be mining with 2 workers on gas for a while, for the whole time, if you're going to do this. Marine first. Like, this does not feel optimized at all. Factory does go down. Because I think the command center being a bit faster, and now you see he can't afford that SCV, because he's got to go for the depot, SCV, floating almost 100 gas. Obviously, if you delay the second gas a long time, this means you can still get a starport with the gas you've banked up and build maybe a tech lab and stuff like that, reactor. So there is a usage to this. Second gas now goes down for both sides. It's going to be, like I said, gas first for BYUN. So BYUN has, I guess, a little bit of a lead on the gas. Does he really, though? Does he really? He's a little supply blocked as well. It looks like the gas is slightly ahead for BYUN, but almost imperceptibly. Not sure if he pulled off gas at all. Starport goes down here for Clem in the bottom left. BYUN's going to saturate this second gas while leaving 14 workers on minerals. And he's going to go Hellions. Hellions very mineral heavy. Really hard to afford the orbital and non-stop SCV production here. You can see these little gaps in SCV production appearing on both sides. BYUN is, of course, ever so slightly ahead on those workers so far. We're going to see a Cyclone, a few Marines for Clem. And his starport now coming in as well. Starport now finishing. We've got a barracks for the tech lab coming up. Starport's going to go into the tech lab. SCVs are being built. Command center will float down for both sides, but very passive. Look at this. Clem's not scouted. BYUN's only scouted for the nearby proxy. Neither side committing too much, but now you're seeing an aggressive stance for Clem because he's going medevac. Whilst Raven, defensive stance for BYUN. I say defensive, but he's still building Hellions, which are a very mobile unit. He could try to, like, jump on top of anything that Clem attacks with. But because of the lack of anti-air, if he, say, drops a bunch of auto turrets, dives on top, Clem can just pick up the Marines and fly away. It's the Cyclone that won't fit inside the medevac, though, if he's got 8 Marines in there. Third gas goes down early again for BYUN. Wants to build tanks and Ravens non-stop. Very gas heavy. Here comes this Cyclone Marine pressure. He spreads the Marines out. They can do okay against Hellions, but it's a lot of Hellions. Yeah, he's a little clumped. The Hellion splash is not bad. Cyclone, of course, does great against these units. I'm surprised there's no auto turret for BYUN. Very surprised there's no auto turret for BYUN. And oh, he's going to lose the Raven! Oh, BYUN too patient. Didn't want to waste the auto turret. Ends up having to use it and loses the Raven. Ouchies. That is very painful. But he gets his own Cyclone out. Clem very quick to get out. He's going to grab an SCV on the way out, which some would say is obscenely greedy. Is it going to cost him? Gets out of range. Oh, the auto turret. He gets it. He gets it. And BYUN does get revenge with the auto turret. Manages to get that medevac just before it escapes. Nice revenge for BYUN. He's already up 1-0 in this best of 3. If he wins this game, it's all over. Second starport into 4 gases again. Clem is going to play 2 starport into mech. I love to see it. Very cool style. Wonder if he speeds up his second factory at all this game. I don't think he really can, not with 2 starports. Second Raven almost popped. Tank is there as well. Extra gas goes down in the natural. Third command center gets placed on location. BYUN with confidence. He's going to push with 2 Ravens, a bunch of aliens, a Cyclone, a tank, a few Marines. Second tank is quite delayed for him, whereas there's a third tank almost out for Clem. I think with 3 tanks, you should be able to defend. You just want to make sure you defend these add-ons, right? Because if he comes and sieges you here, these add-ons are very vulnerable. I think the natural is unpushable, but if BYUN can get a siege up, clean up some add-ons, it's very disruptive. BYUN's kind of playing it safe for now, though. Kind of waiting a bit further back for Clem to move out. Reacted starport for him is pumping Vikings. Of course, the 2 starports of Clem are about to pump up into overdrive. Remember, this double starport Viking production plus the tanks, it massively delays your third command center. It's just started for him. It's almost finished for BYUN. And BYUN's is on location. I think BYUN has identified, you know what, Clem's probably going to play mech again, and I think he's going to be very passive. So BYUN's not too worried about drops. He's got no defense at home. Like, look at this. His army's out on the map. So BYUN is, yeah, there's a cockiness to the way BYUN's playing, which I really like. I think it's correct. It's the style that Clem's playing. Now, Clem's going to start doing that push. 4 tanks, 2 Ravens, a bunch of Vikings, but the scan sees everything. BYUN's down 2 tanks, but if he can get an ambush volley off, that could be massive. He's got to get his tank sieged in the right position, though. He's got to be worried about those interference matrices. I think this is a fight where Clem should just A move and interference matrix the tanks. I think this is an A move. I don't think you want to, make it too complicated. He goes auto turrets. He does lose 1 Raven. 2 interference matrices go down for BYUN, and then he tries to pull back. He loses 2 tanks. Ooh, I think that's kind of rough for BYUN, because now he's lost 2 tanks, hasn't killed any. He's also lost 2 Ravens for just 1. Clem's able to isolate the third base. He's got this beautiful tank position here. If you try and evacuate those SCVs, not only are they walking past the Vikings, they also walk through tank fire. 11 workers go down, but here we go, big fight. Vikings come down to intercept. The Vikings will join with the Marines and the Viking rally, not to mention the tanks coming forward for Clem. He sieged his tanks in a forward position. He's going to take out that tank. He will win the Viking fight. The Marines will run it away, and that is complete control and complete lockdown that he has on BYUN. Funnily enough, the name of the map, lockdown, and it is going to be a killer contain. BYUN knows he can't let himself get trapped in here, so he pulls the SCVs trying to break out before it's too late, and he finds out it is already too late. 34 workers have gone down, and BYUN getting overwhelmed. Clem really sticking to this style. Did he go mech behind it again? Yes, he did. Multiple factories going down. Third command center floating out. It's a good push. The 2 starport push became very popular in TVT a few years ago, and Clem translating it really nicely over to this modern patch. Tank sieged up. Trying to break here is going to be expensive. The Vikings a little bit slow to land, but it doesn't matter. There's just not enough firepower. BYUN is going to have to tap out here as he fails to break out. Can he even take out that 1 front siege tank? The answer is no. BYUN realizes it, and he will tap. That's tied up 1-1. All right, guys. Clem in the top right side of the map. We've got Liquid Clem. BYUN in the bottom left side of the map. It's TVT to decide it all. We do have the sound turned on. Yes, we do. And are we going to see the same build? I want to see Clem mix it up. I want to see Clem play Bio. Play Raven tank, mix it up, and maybe do a Raven tank push or something. But I definitely want to see him not play the same start, because I think that's a great surprise build, but I think if your opponent can predict it, BYUN should be able to deal with it, get forward on the map, not let you take a really good position, and ambush it. Going to be 13 barracks for both sides. Okay, so no gas first this time around. How did Clem take game 2? Same style. This time the first push did it. He did have Ravens this time as well, right? It was a 2 starport push, but he went 2 Ravens with it and just spammed auto turrets down. 2 starport Vikings. Had an extra tank or 2, and BYUN tried to engage with interference matrix, but he didn't siege his tanks and tried to run away from the auto turrets of CLEM, and it was a bad first fight for BYUN. He lost 2 tanks, which was really awkward for him. He was in a tough spot. Now, Clem's going to go for the double gas. Okay, I'm curious to see how this goes. I feel like this should put you quite far behind his Clem, but we'll see how it plays out. I'll keep an open mind. As much as I smack talk the double gas build, because I'm like, what are you going to do with all that gas? You just don't have the minerals to do anything. He does go Reaper now. And I guess I just wonder how quickly and how hard does he pull off gas, right? Is this just literally, okay, get enough gas, drop a factory, immediately pull 3 workers off, just completely copy like the older build? Because if so, I do think single gas is more efficient if you just play gas first. We'll see. So he pulls 1 worker off gas now to go build the second depot. So it's factory, second depot goes down after he queues up the SCV and the mill. Now he needs to build, and he's pulled, 4 workers off gas now. And now he puts 1 back in. So he's kind of umming it out. He's like, oh, do I need the gas? How much gas do I need? I think Clem's figured it out in real time as well. So he's back on 3 workers on gas, both sides scouting with Reapers. And it's a Reaper into Marine High Ground Command Center for BYUN. And he will be going for that factory in the near future as well. He's just waiting for 150 minerals. So you can see the factory timing difference, guys. This factory is about 30 seconds behind? Yeah, about 30 seconds behind Clem. Clem, of course, will be starting that command center. Looks like about 250. You got 14 workers on minerals. BYUN's only got 13. So even though BYUN didn't take the second gas, it's not like he's got a significant mining advantage or anything like that. Like, it's very similar on the minerals right now. So fair enough. I guess it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, the command center is going to be up earlier, as will the orbitals and stuff. But, you know, Clem gets a bit more map control. Maybe could find some damage. There is a Reaper ledge here, guys, right where that purple line is. You can see it on the low ground and the high ground. You can also jump up here. And, of course, over here as well. But there's a Reaper and a Marine waiting. BYUN should be able to defend that. He doesn't throw a grenade, interestingly. Gets an enemy Reaper kill. Clem jumping up there. Immediately regrets his decision. Loses one. And he's once again going for Cyclone? Yeah, he's waiting for that Cyclone money, I think. Cyclone does start up. Looks like he wants to go medevac again. Clem's been doing the same thing over and over. I would like to see him mix it up. I think shifting gears here would be really good. But he's like, nah, I like pressuring with Cyclone, medevac, Marine. I feel confident. BYUN's like, well, I like going defensive tank Raven. And that's been putting BYUN in pretty decent positions economically and whatnot, but there's always, I think Clem just feels better when he's on the front foot, pressuring his opponent. Any mistakes for them will get punished massively. And he was able to put his command center on location, so even though obviously it's up later, there's already that second mule mining in the main, he's not too far behind on actually getting workers down there. In fact, he's faster to get workers onto his natural. Big, do we know what Clem thinks about the new patch with 300 mineral command centers? I think like most Terrans, he has a guilty stiffy over it, is what I haven't asked him exactly, but I would surmise, I would guess like most Terrans, guilty stiffy, both excited and also going, oh, this is a bit naughty. That's what I would guess, but you'd have to ask him yourself. I think you know, Terran were having a tough time, so I think they definitely needed something. I don't agree with that choice, but it is what it is. Oh, this is a big overcommit. He's got to get rid of the Cyclone. He goes for the lock-on. He doesn't get it. Oh, no. What did Clem get? 1 Marine. There's just no reason to force that fight. That was such an overcommit. Such an overcommit. What does Zergs think about the lava buff? Same thing. Especially the initial one. Because it's been nerfed twice now. I think it's been nerfed twice. Still good, though. Still a very good boost. What? The fudge? Alright, Clem is so disgusted by how bad that fight was, guys, that he's just rage quit. He's in a bad spot. I don't know if he got supply blocked after or something as well. He's not building a tank right now behind it, so this is incredibly committed, right? And he goes in, gets no kills, just throws his units away. He doesn't need to do this. And he gets shoved back, and Clem his tank starts. He's got a Raven. He's like, oh man. He sees that this was a 1-rax expand. And he sees, oh, you've got a third gas mining, which means we're on even-ish workers. Actually, BYUN has less workers mining, but he kind of sees this and he's like, oh, you've got 2 command centers up and a Raven. My Raven's only just popped, so he kind of feels he's a bit behind the Ravens. He's not really, though, because the starport was not producing for BYUN. And he's just frustrated. He got wrecked playing PvT earlier. I do think if he used the gateways, he would have been fine against BYUN style. I think BYUN style is very weak on this patch, the way he played TVP in this tournament. BYUN gets a victory here. Good TVT, solid TVT for BYUN. Clem is going to have to make a decision. Is he going to commit to PvT or is he going back to TVT? I thought he played a pretty good series. I think it's kind of sad that he's clearly doing this out of desperation where he's like, well, I'm not really good with Protoss on this patch yet. I haven't figured out how to do it. So I'm going to swap back to Terran after the first series. And you can tell he kind of just has to take a second and think about what his goals are. What decisions is he going to make? In the next little bit. Like what decisions will he be making as a player in this next little while? Accidentally flying his Raven in and getting it killed. Second big mistake in a row, and he just rage quits, which I guess is fair enough. The drop and the Raven going down is a disaster, and they're both unforced errors as well. GG, well played. BYUN was going to be miles ahead. I would have liked to see Clem play it out, but I think his mech style looked promising. At its core, though, it's not his style. If you think of BYUN and Clem, they're both players who like playing bio tank, and they prefer to play mass marine and drops and mobility rather than being defensive. So when you see them clash, normally it's a battle for map control, and to see Clem assume such a defensive position with the mech, I think that wasn't Clem playing the style he wanted to play. I think he wanted to play the 2 starport Viking tank push, and transitioning bio feels very awkward off of that. So he was like, I might as well just follow it up with mech. But I think Clem was probably a bit frustrated after the first game. Game 2, the push went really well. Game 3, he does get taken out, and that is going to be a 2-1 victory. BYUN takes out the Monday Night Weekly. Clem is at a turning point. Will he continue playing Terran, or do you think he's going to stick with Protoss? I think he's going to stick with Protoss. I hope he figures out the new gateways. They've just buffed it again in the hotfix yesterday to make the gateways even more obviously the strong thing to do in the early game when you're building up to your 3-base saturation. So I assume Clem and the other Protoss players who've been really sleeping on gateways will actually start using them. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to see Clem get good at TVT again. In 2023, he got really good at the matchup, so I wouldn't mind seeing him have another go at it. Anyways, catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.